here's står det till, and if you know Swedish, then you know that I totally mispronounced that. So how can I improve my pronunciation, and how can you improve yours in your target language? Glad you asked. Welcome back, my fellow language learners, to Adventures in Language. I'm your guide, Emily. Mastering pronunciation in a new language can be really challenging, but you shouldn't feel bad about it because there are real underlying reasons that explain why that's the case. In our last video, we covered why mastering pronunciation can be tough, and it was a really great video, so I recommend you go check that one out before you watch this one. In this video, I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. To do that, I'm going to be sharing 4 simple and actionable tips that you can use to improve your pronunciation in any language. And for those of you who might not know me yet, I'm Emily. I'm a linguist at Mango. I have my PhD in linguistics and a lifelong love for language learning. Well, sin más preámbulos, let's get to it. Okay, here are your 4 easy tips for improving your pronunciation. Number 1, listen to authentic input. 2, record yourself. 3, do some mouth watching. I know it sounds weird, bear with me. 4, learn the International Phonetic Alphabet. Now, let's break those down. Okay, number 1, listening to authentic input. Here's the deal, guys. In order to do the thing, you need exposure to the thing. And in language learning, that means listen, listen, listen. There's a bunch of research into listening as an effective method for helping you master pronunciation. And it all comes down to something called implicit or incidental learning. But more on that in another video. Now, there's a whole host of ways to get exposure to auditory input in the language. It's movies, TVs, podcasts, music. But what's most important is that you're actually invested in what you're listening to. Otherwise, you'll likely end up tuning it out or losing interest. One great way to ensure that you stay the course is to integrate your listening practice with a hobby that you already know you enjoy. For example, if you love cooking and you're learning French, then try your hand at cooking a new dish by following along with a French-speaking YouTube tutorial. You get to have fun and cook while also getting all that awesome authentic language input. Or if cooking's not your thing and you're into fitness, then try some at-home workout videos in the target language. Bonus here, when you incorporate your listening practice into your hobbies, you also end up learning a bunch of vocabulary for things that genuinely interest you and are relevant to your everyday life. For example, I've done at-home workout videos in Spanish, and I loved how many fitness-related words like squats and jumping jacks that I got for free along the way. So listen, listen, listen. Okay, number 2, record yourself. Listening is only half the battle. You need to speak the language yourself if you want to truly master pronunciation. One highly effective way to do this is to record yourself when you speak and then, crucially, play it back afterwards. Here is a crazy cool fact that not a lot of people know about. We often don't hear certain features of our speech because our auditory and our cortical systems literally filter them out. Side note, these filtering mechanisms are also what's largely responsible for the "why does my voice sound different on a recording" phenomenon. Okay, the main point is recording yourself and then playing it back is one of the best ways to identify and improve your pronunciation. And it's even better when you can directly compare your voice recording with that of a native speaker's. For those of you in the Mango fam who use the Mango Languages app, this is why we offer the voice comparison feature. Our voice comparison technology helps you hone your pronunciation alongside native speaker audio. You can even align a visual representation of your recording with the native speaker's version for comparison, practicing repeatedly until it lines up smoothly. This ability to repeat the voice comparison recording and listening loop until you're satisfied not only trains your ear and your tongue, but also allows you to gain confidence in your pronunciation. Okay, number 3, do some mouth watching. It sounds weird, but it works. Now, to understand why this works, let's take a step back and think about what it is that we do when we produce speech. Take the words that I'm saying to you right now. My speech stream is composed of the sound waves that result from me flapping my lips, moving my tongue, and vibrating my vocal cords. And from that movement of my articulators, that's what we call all the parts of my face that move to make speech happen. The sound stream, well, it streams on, and sound waves pass from my mouth to your ears. The point with mouth watching is to get concrete about what your articulators need to do to make the target sound. I remember trying to learn the Korean vowel There's no equivalent vowel sound in English, so it was a totally new sound for me. I kept listening and practicing to little avail. Then I started mouth watching, and I realized the main fix was that my lips needed to be wider in order to make the sound correctly. Bingo! So I started doing that, and I got noticeably closer to the target pronunciation. Mouthwatching can be a really effective pronunciation strategy for visual and kinesthetic learners, like me. Where my people at? Of course, seeing what the lips need to do is easy to observe through mouthwatching. But for all of the stuff that your other articulators do inside your mouth, like your tongue and your vocal cords, those things aren't readily visible from the outside. For those, mouthwatching isn't going to cut it. That is where tip number 4 comes in. Tip number 4, learn the International Phonetic Alphabet. When you learn the International Phonetic Alphabet, or the IPA for short, in theory, you can pronounce any sound in the human language. It's one sheet of paper with a bunch of symbols, and you can use it to help understand objectively what your articulators need to do in order to make a target sound. You've probably seen the IPA before, even if you haven't heard of it, most likely in dictionary entries. As the International Phonetic Association puts it, the IPA is the global notational standard for the phonetic representation of all languages. In other words, the IPA gives us a common set of symbols, an alphabet, if you will, for representing all the possible sounds that could exist across human languages. And this way, you can use the IPA sheet as a kind of recipe that you follow in order to make a target sound. If you want to know more about the IPA and how to use it, then fret not because we have a video coming out soon. We'll link it for you in the description when it's ready. Well, there you have it. 4 tips for improving your pronunciation. To recap, they were 1. Listen to authentic input. 2. Record yourself. 3. Do some mouthwatching. And 4. Learn the International Phonetic Alphabet. Oh, and last thing, when you're faced with the difficult task of pronunciation mastery, it can be really helpful to reflect on your personal language learning goals. For example, how do you want to sound in the language? What level of proficiency are you aiming for? How important is pronunciation to you? If you'd like an easy and fun worksheet to help you with that, then check out our free Setting Good Goals worksheet, which you can find in the description down below. Well, my fellow language learners, that's all for this time on Adventures in Language. If you're new here and you want to make sure that you are up to date with all of the awesome language learning content that we have for you, then come join the Mango fam by subscribing to the channel. If you're not caught up on all the videos in the Language Learning Tips and Tricks series, then make sure to check them out now. In this series, we have covered so many topics and answered a lot of practical language questions, like what are the benefits of being bilingual? What should you know about the intermediate plateau? And what are some tips for how one can have less awkward conversations in their target language? I hope you find them helpful. And remember, language learning is an adventure, so enjoy the ride. Well, Hejdå for now, and happy language learning. Bye. Oh hey, it's me again. I'm here to remind you to get your free Setting Good Goals worksheet, which you can access right here through the link on the screen. See you next time on Adventures in Language. Bye.